that. Yeah, Jonah, what happened last time?
Last time we finally made it out of Mir. This
Yeah,
time via the southern road through the fields instead of through the woods. Um, Not for lack of encounters or danger, but um, we I don't know. It was like 2 weeks or so that we traveled, and finally we can see the village of Thorold across this river in the distance. We see little smoke tips coming on the horizon. So hopefully we can get there, resupply, and get our butts into the mountains.
yes. And certainly there were all sorts of encounters with monsters and strange things in the woods and on the road and at night. Um, but you evaded or overcame all of them. You made it, yes, to where you find smokestacks. However, three of the heroes, while you all were, one group was hunting, the other group was gathering firewood.
That's right.
Three of you saw on a cliffside a man being backed up against the cliff by essentially baby dragon, and he was about to get devoured, and then Trevor started to attack it with his magic, and this thing flew in and was a fraction of the power of a dragon. And were it not for Yuri's light spell, or maybe it was Trevor, I can't remember, but somebody cast light to cause a distraction just long enough to get away with Terran's unconscious body. And that is where you all are right now. The evening of the 15th of Zwiftmont. And you're on the near side. You can see the bridge and well, actually, at this point, it's nighttime. So, but you're nearby this intersection, heading south and north. And you have Terran, who's unconscious. The baby dragon lizard bird thing flew off. And you bring him back. Now, I will also tell you, before I hand it over to you, Jonah, Daniel, of what you all want to do. I can't remember if that group was getting firewood or not, but I think it was, and I think the other group was hunting, because I think
I think so, yeah.
Routnik
The
and...
hunting group was the one that got accosted by the dragon.
Oh, okay. So, because I know Riga was not with them, right? He was with the other group.
Right.
Okay. So, so you probably have firewood then, you just didn't get food. No big deal. Anyways,
Yeah.
this is the, Yuri comes back, and as you all are setting up camp for the night, he says, my fellows, I have something dire to tell you all. He's been off by himself for a little while after he came back and you were setting up camp. He wasn't helping.
Oh, what's wrong?
My God has forsaken me, and I have divined his will, and I can see why. For we have been about this journey now for a month and 2 weeks, and I have sorted out no mysteries. And indeed, we have traveled these lands like vagrants and hunters and furriers, and Ord has appointed me not to be a vagrant, a hunter, or a furrier. I am one who is supposed to sort out secrets.
How do we get you back in his good graces, then?
Therein lie what is most unfortunate. Ord commands me. I am to track this baby dragon to its mother and take an essence from its mother. I have been promised great power if I do this, but I will offer no spells if I do not.
What do you two think?
Boy. This would certainly sidetrack us.
I'm for it personally.
Way to die as any.
Alright. We're gonna get you your magics back. Get you back in your god's good graces.
I saw where it traveled. It looked as if it traveled somewhere into an eyrie within the woods. Now, I think Riga would probably know something about this, that if there's a baby dragon, there's probably only one source for that baby dragon. Probably...
Mama dragon.
Yeah, the mama dragon. And it's probably the one that burned the entire countryside to the ground.
Oh, so back when nobody could stop it 500 years ago.
Right. Indeed. And he says, very well, I expect this of none of you. I think the Eyrie must be somewhere off the path to the west, traveling north into the Moorfowl Mountains.
Well, we are headed north. We can go a little bit west. That's fine by us.
Very well. And I think somebody already passed the wisdom check, so I think we're just doing our checks for nighttime now. You all have campfire or firewood. Uh-oh. The first watch I have is Trevor and Yuri. I'm going to cycle that up to having a player on it. It'll be Daniel, who is probably, I guess, you would be on watch by yourself now, because Taryn is unconscious.
Ah, yeah.
In order for him to gain his hit points back, the group must not be interrupted. Let's see how it goes. Alright. So I'm going to move forward Daniel here.
Alright.
And I'm going to make it nighttime. And give you a fire. Daniel, so you're on watch in the night, and you can roll a wisdom check. See if you notice something.
Alright, let's see here. Wisdom. Oh, yeah, that's right. I got a good wisdom. +2. 19.
Okay. Coming from the tree line over here, you hear loud snapping and crunching noises. Something that you think is, at first, perhaps tramping through the undergrowth. Maybe the sounds of loud, like big undergrowth, snapping as something walks. And then you realize it's not moving. And you hear snap, snap, and crack, and something cracking and snapping. And then you hear also within it, like chittering noises.
Ooh. Do I see any eyes reflecting in the night?
From your campfire, no.
Okay. I'm gonna back up and nudge Raltnik with my spear butt. Like, hey, get up.
There's a spot in my face.
I'll like groggily get up.
What's going on? What's the problem?
There's something watching us over there.
Something as in you don't know something, or something too horrible to describe?
Well, my imagination is making it probably worse than it is. Hopefully.
Shall one of us go and investigate what it is, or shall we all go together?
Let's go together.
Excellent.
And I'll lift up my bastard sword nice and high, and I'll slowly creep with him over to where the crunching noise is.
Is this just you and Ralthnick, or are you going to wake up Riga and Trevor? And
Oh,
Yuri?
right, because they don't need sleep, right?
I don't know. Does Riga need sleep? Does he need any sleep?
I think I'm at full health.
Okay.
In that case, Reltnik will use the butt of his sword to wake up the other guy.
Come on, it's a hazing ritual, get up. There's something crunching in the bushes.
I'm just going to gather you all together. You can rearrange your tokens, please, in any order of march you prefer. Are you gonna leave Terran at the campsite?
Let's leave the dwarf who can't cast spells to watch over him just in case, since he won't be of much help either.
Yuri, he says, so be it. And you travel over into the woods, and it is dark. You can't see. What do you do? As you get closer to the woods, you do hear loud snapping noises. As you get closer, you can hear your breath in the night air, and you can hear your own footfalls in the grass. The movement of your armor, and then you can hear the loud snapping noises fall silent. And every once in a while, you hear a skittery noise.
How tall are the trees?
Sorry, what were you saying, Tanner?
I'm just curious if there's a moon out, because if there is, Reltnik will use his bastard sword to reflect moonlight and maybe get a view of something.
Alright, I'll do that and answer the question real quick. The trees are probably 15 feet tall in places. And there is a bit of a forest canopy. So you have like this brush here, along with some pine and evergreen trees, and then you have taller trees as well. So both dense, and it does have a canopy. So as you, Ralthnik, take your sword and you cause the gleam of the two moons of Mystara to gleam off of it, you can see kind of like the light, make that narrow band into the wilderness, and you see multiple reflective little beads staring back at you, and then something, and a whole branch shifts as something big moves off of it.
Looks like an insect of some sort.
Hopefully it's not another one of those big nasties who killed our buddy.
Undoubtedly it is.
I'd like to just pick up like a rock or a branch or something and try and toss it as far sort of off to the side and hopefully make it go get interested in some other noise off in the distance.
Okay, let me make a couple of checks for that. Uh-oh, that's bad. One more check. It's just set at 7. It passes. That's bad. Okay. You do that, and then it just like launches nearby, and it has the opposite effect. And you see this thing rear up in the night, in the moonlight, and come out of the bushes as it's forced towards you. And it is currently dark, which means you have disadvantage, but I assume that you either light a torch or you want to go back towards the light, which you can do either and achieve far or close or near distance to the to the campfire.
Oh,
Otherwise,
okay.
you'd be fighting. Which would you prefer? Otherwise, you'll be fighting in the dark.
I think we head back to the campfire.
All right, no big deal. Yeah, you can do that. Before this happens, you get closer to the light. So now you won't have disadvantage. You can rearrange your tokens however you want and roll for initiative. All right, so you guys win. Whoever has the highest dice roll gets to go first, and then the order stays the same otherwise.
Okay.
There's a nat 20.
Nice.
Well, that's new. Alright, I'm gonna ready an action to take a slice of the first nasty that comes on over.
I don't think you can do that. You can only either act or move.
And of course, if I
this
go
roll
back
just
to,
in case you get a d20 or a nat 20.
and of course, if I go into the darkness, I have to roll at disadvantage.
All right.
Or you can light a torch, which would be your action, and then move. So yeah, it's a sticky situation.
I
get,
will
Rita?
light. I
There's
will
one
light a
of-
torch.
Since there's no active combat on this map, it won't let me roll.
Let me take a look here. Let's see, Heretic, Riga. Yeah, I would suggest using the dice rolling tool on the left. Unfortunately,
Okay.
I apologize.
My mistake. I forgot. I've been to so many games.
Yeah, I have somewhere that works, but I don't want to create up an encounter system. All right, so yeah, Routnick, you're able to act first. Sorry, go ahead.
And I will move. I'll light a torch, and I'll prepare to slice at whatever comes near.
Okay, you light a torch up,
Yes.
and all right, let's see.
Is this thing on, or
Yeah, we can hear you. And then let's
says
see.
the volume's off, and you guys are frozen in time, so this might be giving me
internet
grief. One sec.
problems. I can tell you
Also
got
been
some
having
internet
internet
problems, Tanner. Riga.
That's working. That's working just fine. So I have no idea why that's not.
Can I make it to them?
Yeah, totally.
Attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll attack one.
Guys.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Right. And you're two-handed, right? So that's 5
Yes.
damage.
No, I'm not.
Well, I just, they're both D10 plus 1. Is that correct?
Cancel.
Yeah, I think so. I just think it does. I think it does more damage, right? If you wait, no, I think maybe.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you for a second, Tanner. I think you're having internet problems. We'll get back to you in a second. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's a good point. Let me take a quick look here. Because yeah, it should do different damage. I think with two-handed
You would
weapon.
think so.
Mm-hmm. Characters, gear. And you have a great axe, right?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, it's wrong. It's just a typo. It does D8 damage if it's one-handed. So D10, so 5 damage. I'm gonna unmute you there, Tanner. See if it helps. Can you hear us, Tanner? Uh-oh, yeah. I think it's a headset issue, though. Anyways, the next person is Trevor. Trevor is going to cast Magic Missile, as usual. I think he doesn't have this. He loses the spell, and now he won't have the spell tomorrow unless he, Yuri is not here. Daniel.
All right, I'm gonna rush up to this guy, give him a poke, and let me just check again. That would be a +3. All right.
Armor class 13 hits.
All right, and that is a D6 plus 1.
Drats.
All right.
You slice into this spider. It emits an unearthly, screeching insectoid scream into the night air. It echoes, and it rears up. It's much larger than you. Let's see. Terran is next. He's unconscious. Routnick, I'm going to have him rush forward, and he's going to attack. I'm willing to bet that's what he would do. He misses. All right, so... and actually, it's the spider's turn. This one's going to attack Riga. Misses. Nice. Very fortunate. This one hits.
Ooh.
Daniel, make a
Yes.
con save.
Con. Alright, con is flat. So just a d20.
Oh no.
Oh, so close.
You were unconscious and paralyzed for an hour.
Ugh.
This is really bad. Unconscious. Where's it at? There it is. Unconscious. All right. And that brings us back to... Okay. Routnick acted Riga. Nice. Two-handed damage. You slay the beast. Describe how you kill it.
I cut its head in half horizontally.
All right. Yeah, you hew its head in half. It makes no noises. Just folds up on itself in front of you. And Trevor is probably out of tricks right now. He's going to... Let me see if he has...
There we go.
You back with us? Can you hear?
Oh yeah, I can. It's fine. No idea what you're doing, though.
That's okay. That certainly does happen with the tech. I think. Oh, he does. I got his spells here. He's gonna cast Sleep. Well, cast spell. Bam. Success. 20. Is it less than level 2? It's not. He fails. And, oh no. Yeah, Yuri's not here. Daniel, you are unconscious. Taryn is unconscious. Routnick, it comes down to you.
Alright. 1d20 plus 4.
Oh
10.
no. 10 is below its armor class. That makes it its turn. It's going to attack you. Does a
Thankfully, that's a
15
miss.
Awesome. Okay, good. Riga.
Moving forward and attacking.
Oh no. Man, even 2 ones. Gosh darn it. Okay, and is it okay? We'll just go with where it says two-handed damage, and then you just let me know if you pick up a shield or something. Switch to the 8. I don't... you know, some independent person made this Shadowdark module for Foundry, and I think it's just a typo. Let's see. Trevor is... Trevor, I think, is going to run up and fight. Because if you don't kill this thing fast, everybody's going to be dead anyway. He fails, whiffs badly, and Yuri is away, and then Daniel's unconscious, Taryn's unconscious, Routnick.
Try it again.
Nice.
I'm gonna go and assume that hits.
Yeah, that hits.
Alright, now a bastard sword is... yeah, it's D10 if it's done two-handed like, so... that would mean... okay, there we go. 5 damage?
5 damage. It's still up.
Okay.
But you hack into it, and you're... what, you have like a great sword, right?
Bastard sword.
All right, you bring down your bastard sword into this thing, and it actually cleaves into its. You hear a crunch as it goes into it. Ichor starts flying out of its wounds. Your bastard sword's almost stuck for a second. You have to yank it out, and it's just screeching. And it's kind of doing that tap dancey thing where it's like tap dancing around as people are kind of around it now. It's gonna make a
Remember, it
morale
also
check.
got a torch.
Yeah, it's scared. It's gonna see. Okay, it passes its morale check, so it's gonna keep fighting. Riga, did you already act? I think we're just back to you. Yeah, it's your turn again.
This is the next round.
Huh? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Okay, Trevor is gonna attack. Trevor hits for 2 damage, but that's still not enough to kill this beast. And cracks it with his staff. Yuri is over there. I think Yuri's going to take a turn leaving Terran to try to help because everybody's going to die if this fails bad enough. Daniel is unconscious, and Terran is unconscious. Routnick. Oh no.
7?
Oh boy.
Oh no. Okay, Riga. Oh, wait, no, actually it's the monster's turn. It's gonna attack Routnick. Sees the dwarf as the greatest threat. 15 misses, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, it probably brings one of those points down onto your armor and chink, and you take the blow. It's not able to pierce your armor. And it slides off of it as you try to strike it back. But you're not able to smash in this insect yet. Riga.
All right.
Nice. Finally, yes. And 6 damage. Describe how you kill it.
I think I lop off its leg and a couple of its legs and partway through its back.
Yeah, you do that finishing move where you take off some of its legs and part of it like falls down, and then you just like go into its back, and it like arches back and it screeches in the night air, and it like, you know, jiggles and shimmers and then flips over as soon as you let it back onto its back and curls up into a tight wad. Well, you have these gigantic insects here in the night, and another one of your companions is unconscious.
I'll drag him back towards the fire.
All right, so is Terran. So I've got 2 unconscious people near the fire, and Trevor's like, well, that is much unfortunate. And Trevor is going to need to make a check to see if he can get the benefits of a rest. Did anybody else lose hit points?
Did that spider bite actually do damage, or was it just the poison?
It did do damage, yes. Let's see here.
It was like 3 or 4. I'll just roll.
Does a 15 hit?
4. Yes.
Okay, I see it here. It did 3 damage.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Yeah, so you will also need to roll. Let me check though to see. Let's see, resting. Interruption. Each stressful interruption of rest, including combat, requires the affected character to make a DC 12 Constitution check. So I'm going to make that for Trevor, and then Daniel, if you can make one.
All right.
Trevor passes. He's able to conk back out and go to sleep.
I'm not.
You do not get your hit points back. But you all do eventually awaken. And thankfully, Terran, staying out of combat because he's totally unconscious, does not. he gets his hit points back. And the sun rises. Spiders, we don't need those anymore. And Taryn wakes up in the morning and is like, oh, what happened? Oh.
We had a bump in the night.
Oh, I don't remember. I thought we were trying to help someone on a cliff.
Oh yes, you
I'm
also
sore.
got eaten by a dragon.
Oh, okay. He lifts up his big thing of ale he's been carrying around. Now,
That's right.
yeah, you all plan to try to take this wasp ichor and try to turn it into a substance you can drink. I'm going to make it a DC 15 check. No one is a brewer in their background or anything related to that, right?
I am a surgeon?
Alright, no benefits there, at least no advantage, but it'll be just one roll to see if it pans out and to see if you have something useful out of this. Yeah, who wants to make it? It's a wisdom check. I don't know if anybody has an advantage to that.
Oh, I've got +2 wisdom. I can make that roll.
Alright, see how it goes.
Do it. Hey.
Nice. You crack it open. You've been on your journey now for the better part of a month. And you have that kind of like sour smell of malt in your nostrils when you open it. You don't know what it was you fermented, but you fermented something, and this could be an alcoholic substance you could sell for a lot of money.
Ooh.
Very, very nice. Alright.
Now, before we go on to get some dragon ichor, we should definitely, we should head into town to resupply and make sure that we hide our goods under a bush or in a dirt hole or something so that
Yes.
it's harder for someone to come along and just walk away with that.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so do you do that? Now, you're still quite a ways away. This map is kind of deceptive. 8 miles. It's basically your entire day to get there.
Oh, okay. In that case, we'll find a nice, like a copse of trees with some bushes and dig around and hide them all of our stuff once we get there, and then head into town, hopefully, and get some good rest there.
Cool. All right, you're
Shop
definitely
in the
able to
morning.
do that near the waterfront. You're able to find a place to cache your stuff. I will say that there is a very small chance that somebody may find your cache.
Okay. Fair.
All right, so I will describe to you Thorold as you cross the bridge, cross the trees on either side of this section of river that comes out from the main river, and you see a very something just shy of a city, but one with paved roads, and paved roads, stone walls, towers of stone buildings, and fine buildings. Let me describe it to you. As you come into it, you can see there are farmhouses and various houses on the other side of the bridge after you leave the trees. And then you see a walled city. And this walled city, just on the other side of the river, you see, that, like I said, stone walls, stone buildings, particularly up the hill to the northwest, to your left front. And to your right front, as you enter the city's main gates, you can see. Now, I assume you said you took all your armor off and hid it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You can see to your right front that there are these huge stables, like a lot of them. It makes me think of like the Derby, where you just have like rows of stables and then large fenced-in fields that are cut fields. The grass is manicured here, and there are horses, and there are all these people out in tabards training the horses. And let's see what else you see. There are guards everywhere on this part of town, just as you enter. And you can see some of them kind of looking at you as you enter the town, you know. You all look as if you've been on the road. Yeah. From where you are, that is all you see.
And it's probably late at this point, right? Because it took all day to get here.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's actually, it's about, so this would be the part of the day where you'd spend 3 hours in the day gathering firewood and hunting.
Oh, okay. I see.
Which, you know, I assume you're not going to do now. But the sun is beginning to set at this point, and people are finishing up their business for the day.
I'd say we find a booze seller so we can see if we can get a good price for the ichor, and tell him how we did it, and then we'll saunter in to the
Nicest looking inn.
Yeah.
You said to an inn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The main road leading into the main gate, as you pass by these fine buildings, you see there's a very fancy tavern with a sign, and it even has letters on it. It says the Royal Lantern. And you can even see a sign written in common that has writing on it, which is quite strange. It says dancing and horsemanship and contests, prizes, and it also advertises fine wine, local breads, and exotic Adri Varmask Arabs. And you can see people in there dining, and it looks as if the people in there are fairly well dressed, all human. By the way, you see that men here are unaccompanied and dressed slightly less modestly here. By modestly, I mean they were dressed very strangely in Galuvia, if you recall. They look almost like they were wearing coverings and stuff.
Right.
And anyways, the main street, you can see this really fancy tavern. You see these nice stone buildings, and then it continues on, and you see like an area of the town where the road splits off into a darker part of town, where the buildings are lower, and they're made of wood and daub. And then a part of the road where it goes uphill, and you can see what look like several resplendent manors. And they're very well guarded out front, and they have their own private walls.
Yikes, stay away from there. Well, maybe we should check out this ritzy-looking tavern. Maybe their exotic foods, maybe they'd be interested in some exotic mead, or whatever the heck we've got.
Okay. You go inside the tavern, and it is very nice in here with private tables and multiple different sections and even additional levels. You can see that people are playing different games of chance, and the food smells really good here. And There are males. So this is something closer to Gluvia, that all the waiters are mostly males. And they're bringing food back and forth to various tables. You can see on one platter of food that there is a indeed strange, multicolored, steaming scarab. It's about this size. It's like, looks like an insect, and it's on a platter that somebody's receiving. And you're greeted as you come in. Maitre D looks at you and he says, "Greetings, welcome." Kind of looks you up and down to the Royal Lantern. Do you have a room reserved with us for the evening?
No, we don't.
I see. Well, we do have some rooms available. You look as if you've had a very rough journey.
An astute observation.
Very well. For all of you together, it will be 50 gold pieces for food and room. That's for everybody.
Should we just walk out?
You want 50 gold pieces?
And that includes the food for the day, so you won't have to mark off food for the day, food for tomorrow, and a place to stay. And
Maybe
the clientele, if the clientele are of interest, of course.
Let's try and talk to the head guy around here. See if he wants to buy this booze from us first, and then we'll figure out how much money we've got.
He looks at you, the maitre d' does, and he says, "I'm sorry, sir, but if you do not have a reservation for the evening, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave."
Ah, I see. Well then, I guess we will take our leave.
And you walk out of the fancy tavern and back into the night street.
To the less fancy tavern we go.
To the less fancy tavern you go. This part
If
of
all else
town.
fails, we'll sleep in trash.
Let me find like a place to kind of indicate. It looks slummier. It doesn't look nice. Mud daub, wood, shanties. In fact, you're surprised to find at this time of night the business here has died down. It actually looks quite bad in this part of town. But you do see there are also stalls currently with no vendors, coverings, and hide coverings and things, and loose dogs. But you do see a place that has some perhaps tallow candles that are lit at in the night.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, well, we'll just have to check it out.
All right. You check it out, indeed, and it is, fortunately, a perhaps a wayfaring tavern for people that come through, like yourselves. Perhaps a workers, like a tavern, and there's you can see as you go in, there's an area in the back. I can't remember what this is called, but it's a part where where buildings surround an outside area, and then there's a bunch of places where people are sitting drinking cheap beer, and here you are not greeted, and there is just an innkeep behind a bar, and people are mostly just drinking cheap beer here. They look like a rough sort of people. Maybe local workers, maybe travelers, maybe both, you're not sure.
Does it look like they have rooms? Otherwise, we'll just go and ask. But is that obvious?
It's not obvious. You could ask.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go up to that barkeep. And we'll say an ale and a room if you have it.
All right. Let's see here. You see a man who seems to operate and perhaps own this place. He has a kind of Santa Claus-ish appearance, and that he's got these big ruddy cheeks, and he's a bit portly, except that he's got red hair instead of white hair, and he smiles broadly as you enter. He's got big meaty hands. He's like, "Oh, welcome, travelers. Come on in. Yes, an ale in a room, then. Absolutely. Where are you coming from?"
We've just traveled long distance, and it's taken us quite some time from Galuvia.
More than
Oh,
half of it.
you traveled from Galuvia. That is a long way by the road. The name is Urine. Welcome to the dredges.
I'm sorry, his name is Urine?
Urine.
Yarn.
Yeah, like Yorin.
Checks out.
Please rest your weary feet. I'll have some ale out to you right away.
Thank you.
And he's good on that promise, and he brings out some ale that has some probably stuff floating in it, but it's sterile and edible. And he asks, he says, would you be liking a room? He said.
Yes, that would be excellent.
Many of our outbuildings are full for now, but so it'll be 2 gold pieces, but we'll give you what leftover food we have in the morning and tonight, and you can stay here at our tavern, at our outbuilding.
That sounds excellent, good man.
He smiles. Oh, go ahead.
We will take it, yes.
He nods, and then he goes out to get you food. What do you do next?
Just eyeballing the people around here. Any details about their clothing or hair or scars or anything like that?
Yeah, let's see. First, let's see if anything happens. Oh yeah, I gotta roll it this way. Let's see if something happens. It does not. And here we go. Everyone in here looks like local workers. The more that you look at it, these are people, and some of them kind of look. This image is actually a good representation. These two right here, they look like rapscallions. Some of them do, wearing hoods and smoking things, pipe weeds and such, and eye patch, frazzled, raggedy hair. But there is a table of 4 people in robes bent over their mugs, sitting quietly and not speaking to one another. They all look like young men.
Okay. I almost want to just keep our heads down here, actually, but I would like to ask the Yorin if he has heard or seen any dragons in the past week or so, because we encountered one.
He comes back with your food. He offers you bread and pottage. And the bread is fresh tonight, so that's at least a good thing. And he says, when you offer that information, he's like, there's not... Dragons are fairy stories. There's not been any dragons. Now, there are strange things that are out in the wilderness. I would not recommend anyone go out in the wilderness by themselves around here. But dragons. I think maybe you just saw something. I saw one of the strange creatures or the monsters that trek through the wilds.
You must be right, yes. Do you know of any lads who might offer protection for those traveling the wilds?
No, not here. In better days, I would suggest that you go down to the barracks and seek to hire some of the Countess's men. But these are not better days. The Countess's men guard the roads and the farms, and he keeps them around the stables, the breeding grounds for the horses.
Yes, and speaking of the stables, are horses for sale?
Oh, I don't know why you would come to my humble tavern if you could afford a Thorold horse. They're usually hundreds of gold pieces, as far as I've heard.
Well, that is certainly outside my price range. Well, do you guys want to just keep our heads down and get going as soon as sunup?
Looks like.
All right. You
We'll
do that.
purchase what we need, and then we'll go for our dragon hunt.
Right. Get some rations and torches too, maybe.
You awaken the next day. It seems like a fairly okay town. You experience no further trouble, despite being in a maybe rougher part of town. The streets are well patrolled, and people seem busy. It seems like perhaps people will trade along the road to the south.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
where do you go from here?
Well, let's
Which
check
was
out
it?
that.
What's that?
What were you saying?
How much was the night's stay?
2 gold. And you don't have to mark off any food for the previous day or this day.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, let's go down to that south road, like you were saying. I don't know. How do you want to market this weird goop, fermented goop? I don't know. Want to start yelling exotic mead?
How about we get our story straight on how it was made? We'll say that
Good idea.
it can be made from the nectar harvested from a giant wasp hornet nest.
Yeah.
The danger involved in getting it makes it even tastier. And we should also give them explicit instructions on how we made it, since it can be since it is reproducible.
Sounds good.
All right. Where do you go? I mean, who do you talk to try to sell it? I can describe some options from where you are. So you're in an area. You can see all sorts of alleyways here. Get the sense that people are trading things down those alleys. And there is a hovel, on the other side of the street. Strange smells coming from it. There's also a nicer marketplace on the road you came in on, closer to where those manors are, up on a hill. That marketplace has traders, you can tell, exotic spices and smells from other lands. And then the main road from there goes back into the nicer part of town with the nice tavern, the Royal Lantern, and the horse, the stables and training grounds to the east of that. And then you have like the kind of the barracks and the main entrance into the city. And then outside of that, there are little hamlets and little farmhouses and stuff leading into the city outside the city's walls, across the bridge.
Okay.
I should have just like... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, what were you saying?
No, I was just going to say I should have actually put these little maps on here, because that would have been far more useful, easy to reference than this, but I'll try to kind of do that right here.
Before we leave, right in the morning, I'd like to ask that Bjorn again if one needs a license to sell things in Thorold, like one needs one in Galoogle.
He at first is surprised that you would ask a question like that, and then you mentioned Galoovi, and he's like, yes. The Baroness's rules. No, you don't have to worry about things like that here. I think if you have something to sell that would be of interest to people, people will buy it.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
And
let's head off to that marketplace.
So let's see. You've got like the really nice manors here on top of a hill. You've got a nicer marketplace here. And then you've got kind of the slums that you're in. He called the dredges. And there's like alleyways. Across the road, there's a strange hovel with smells coming from it. And then there's like a kind of a main road that goes down the center of the city. And you've got like some nice establishments here. And then training stables, hamlets outside.
Okay.
Farms.
I think that marketplace is our best bet.
The nice one?
Yeah.
All right.
Mind if I use the washroom before we do, though?
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Just hop back in when you can. Let's see if you encounter anything at either of these places. You do not. Okay. So you come into this nicer marketplace. You have to kind of go up a hill where this road starts winding its way up. And it's sort of terraced on 2 or 3 different levels. And people have brought things in. You see people wearing turbans and people that do not look like Galuvians. People from other lands. You even see dwarves and people speaking other languages. Bags of exotic spices and even strange mechanical toys that the dwarves are selling. There's all sorts of strange things here. Plenty of food as well. Even baskets of those scarabs, the multicolored scarabs. Yeah. What do you do with your barrel of goo?
I think it would be good to try and find sort of a empty spot that someone hasn't set up their deal in, and plop our barrel down and have a couple of us just sort of shouting out, maybe another person going up and down the road telling them about the exotic mead that we are selling.
This is wild. All right, you're gonna be a merchant. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wild. Let's see who you get first. I'm gonna do 2 of them. Nope, I did not want to do that. 4 and 3. 2 and 4. 4 and 3, 2 and 4. Okay. So the first 2 groups that pass by and they kind of look at your wares, pay attention. One of them is clearly a drunk man, but he's very well dressed, and he's trying to play it off like he's not a drunkard. But perhaps a what's the word I'm looking for? A dilettante, a wastrel, you know. And he comes by and he's like, "What do you got in that barrel?"
Well, sir, this is the finest exotic wasp mead.
And the back.
Welcome back. A wasp mead. Whoa. That's something.
Yes.
I've heard of how wasp mead is really good. And of course, that
Would
makes
you
no
like
sense.
to have a taste, sir?
Yes. Yes.
It's really something else.
Give him a taste of it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he takes it, and he's just like, "Oh!" You see this effect on him. It might kill him later. You're not exactly sure what it'll do.
Oh no.
But let's see. Anyone with a high charisma, you can make a charisma check with advantage. A DC 12 charisma check.
I will.
So what do you say, old friend? Purchase it along with the recipe?
A recipe too?
Yarr.
Oh no.
How's a hooded? 9 plus 2 would be... Missed it by 1.
Do you have any luck tokens?
Have you been giving them out recently?
No. Or does
Then
anybody?
probably not. No, that thing is... I just ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, it's okay. He so then he's like, "Oh!" and he just throws up all over your stall, and then just kind of like,
As long as he doesn't throw up in the mead.
right. So
No.
your first sale did not go well. An hour passes, and another group comes by, and this, you see that swords hanging by their sides, and one of them in a wizard's hat, and other such things. Let's see here. I need... this is obviously a group of adventurers. 8.
Pardon me, wanderers.
Celebrate
you
your
like-
latest return to town?
Yes.
How would you like to celebrate a grand journey?
Oh, hello! And there's a swashbuckling woman who's kind of how should I put this?
Dashing.
Stout woman. And she smiles and puts her hands on her hips, and she's like, "That does sound rather nice. What do you have in the barrel there, young man? Young dwarf? You're not young.
We're yourself a sip, and I'll tell you.
And I'll offer her a glass of the stuff.
And she stops. She says, "Surely you've heard of us, the Hell's Wolves."
Ah, we
They all-
have.
they all have
mighty
a
warriors,
tabard.
you.
Oh, wait, what'd you say?
We have heard of you, mighty warriors, yes.
Okay, you can make another charisma check with advantage.
$21.
Nice, 21. She drinks it, and then you see like she twitches. You're not exactly sure the effect of this stuff. It's not mead, to be clear. She looks back, and she doesn't want to lose face with her companions, and she's like, "An entire barrel of exotic mead. What do you say? Let's find out what it does. Let's drag it back to the Royal Lantern and have a good time."
Sure. And would you believe that that's actually made from nectar from a hornet's nest, no less?
She stops for a minute. She's like, "Well, all right." And then
We'll
she
tell you
takes-
all about it, along with the recipe when we get there. Hey, fellas!
The person in the wizard's hat's like, "The recipe?
Aye,
Oh,
to make this mead.
Yes."
Yeah,
He takes
shared
takes some
away.
from her cup, licks it, and he's like, "Yes, Angelina, I do think we should use this, purchase this barrel of fine beverage. I might have a use for it." And
By the way, out of character, how do you feel about hiring these guys for a dragon hunt?
Oh, that's a good idea.
you propose that?
Once they're nice and hammered, absolutely.
Oh. They, well, if you do not propose that, they do not get hammered, and they take bags of gold, and they set down 2 bags of gold, and she says, 100 gold.
We taking it?
I don't know. Should we?
It's 100 more than we got.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
If we
we'll
buy
take
it
it.
from them, maybe they'll be even more inclined to come with us. So.
All right. In that case, I'll accept the offer of 100 gold, and I will. And where would they be heading next?
They say that they're going to roll this barrel down to the Royal Lantern and experiment
Excellent.
with drinking it.
In that case, how about we join them in rolling it down to the place, and then we'll tell the tale of how we got and made it, and the recipe, as we all get absolutely plastered.
Initially, she's like, no, that's fine. But then the one in the wizard's hat, he's like, wait, Angelina, wait. Yes, I think I would like to hear these tales. It could be useful for my projects.
In that case, as I help them roll it, I will be telling the wizard the story with great emulation, of course, of how we came across the hive and how we made it.
All right. Yeah, and Tyrion, he carries this thing on his back, and much to the chagrin of the maitre d', he sees you all return back in again today into the tavern, and unfortunately, the Hell's Wolves have a private room reserved. And they get riotously drunk as well. And you can even get now, in order for you to drink, you have to choose to drink, but since you're recounting a tale, you could spend 30 of this gold on food and wine and gain the benefits of a carouse, if you choose.
Would you guys like that?
Ooh. Yeah, I think
We're gonna
that's a good
carouse?
idea.
Alright, we'll divvy up the 70 afterwards. We're gonna earn 30 gold and carouse!
All right.
Sounds worth it to me.
Let's see here. Rather than like rolling on the table and telling you the fun time you had, see, that's kind of my problem with it. I would rather say, what is it that you do in this tavern? I mean, you tell me. I guess I prefer it when you all tell me the story instead of vice versa, which maybe that's not fair, but tell me.
I'm not sure what happened.
Exactly. Yeah. Or another way to put it would be like, what would you try to do if you were Routnick and Riga and Daniel, and you're just trying to like have a good time here in Thorold? What do you think you would try to do? And then let's roll the D8 is my thought, and see.
Imbibe and then try and put on like a little skit of how we bested the bees and made the mead and traveled.
Like actually like play out the fights with the monsters and try to enthrall the audience. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. So now all of you can roll a D8, and you just roll a flat D8 because it's 30 gold. So you got an 8.
8.
8 and 6. Okay. So let me get to the 6 in a second. Actually, let's start with the 6. This is interesting. Riga, you're the one that got the 6, right?
Correct.
Okay. 2 things happen. So while everyone's drinking, Riga, you are sharing stories with. Well, I mean, you find some people here who take an interest in you, and they start asking you for information, and you don't realize it until after the fact. So this is something you realize in the morning when you wake up. fact, let me switch to... Riga, you don't realize this until you wake up, but when you wake up, you come to, and the lands of Galuvia have changed since your day. And it's full of cutthroats and criminals and things. This is not the Galuvia you knew. And how much money do you have?
I have 6 gold, 5 silver, and 5 copper.
How much silver?
5.
You think that they took an interest in you, but you lose 3 silver pieces from a thief. But the good news is that based on how they were dressed and how they talked to you, you're confident that these are professionals. There's a criminal organization in this town, a thieves guild, or rebels, or something that could actually support defense. There's a black market in this town. And anyways, you gain 4 experience points as well. Meanwhile, everybody else, you get
the bar.
Yeah, you get really drunk as you tell your stories, and you start trying to act them out. And unfortunately, Trevor, you have him try to pretend to be one of the monsters, and he's like, I really don't want to do it, fellas. I just don't think I'd be the best at it. I think, actually, he looks like he'd make for a good monster, and then you, pull him up on the stage, you're like, nope, you're going to act like one of the spiders, and you start, poking him with swords. He's like, no, please, no, I'm not a spider, and everybody, Trevor has a bad night where and you end up almost stabbing Trevor.
Oh no.
But also actually stabbing him. But he has he also treated his wounds with alcohol, which makes him scream as well.
Oh no.
And but he's okay now. He gets his hit points back, but you all gain 4 XP, and you each get a luck token.
Alright.
And, that's how your night goes. Did you want to make a pitch to Angelina of the Hills Wolves?
I will. Nursing a hangover, I'll stumble on over to her. Angelina, old girl, how are you?
We're okay. I'm okay. They're okay. Who? What?
Good stuff, huh?
Oh.
Listen, I've got a little proposition for your wolves and yourself.
Go on.
You see, my chums and I were thinking about going on a little expedition, and we thought maybe you might like to take up arms and join us on our expedition, eh?
Is there money in it? How much money?
I'll turn to Riga and kind of motion my head, to tell her how much money.
Do I know how much money we're getting?
Wait, is it Riga or shoot? Who lost her spells recently?
Trevor?
Trevor failed to get his spell back, and as well as Yuri. Yuri,
that's what it was. I'll motion to Yuri. What kind of money we're talking here?
He leans over and he says, "None."
We can get you a fortune in bones, scales, meat, and other magical regiments to sell or use. And then I'll lean in close and say, we're hunting a dragon.
And where there are dragons, there's dragon hordes.
I didn't even think about that one. Great point.
Piles of gold.
She looks at you, mouth agape, like this is the worst thing she's heard, and she has a hangover now. let me lay all the factors out, the variables here. I'm gonna say that hiring an adventuring party is not the same as having hirelings. It's like these are like leveled adventurers, and I'm gonna like roll and figure out their levels and all this kind of stuff, and they'll have abilities, and I don't have all that worked out. But this is an adventuring party with gear and weapons and armor and everything and spells. They would be tremendously expensive to hire, fabulously expensive, and doing their own thing. Maybe even out of your league a little bit. But that's okay. I just want to lay out all those variables when I'm going to say that this is a disadvantage, and it's going to be a DC 18. So, if you win, you get something really, really good out of it, but it's going to be really hard.
Okay.
Drats.
21 versus.
With disadvantage?
Oh.
Never mind.
You do have a luck token if you want to try one more time.
Not as soon as I get it, no. She does not go for it.
It's a tough one, yeah. She's like, no. And she slaps you on the shoulder. She's like, ow. And then she kind of hurts herself when she does that. She's like, oh, you were fun to drink with, Ralnick. But, no, in fact, we have other duties we must attend to. We are already on someone's payroll, in fact.
Understood. In that case, I hope that our paths cross again. Till next time.
Indeed. May the hills, wolves, and your paths. What is your group called?
We are the Order of the Glamorous Axe.
And I show him, show her the design on my shield, the new one. With the axe with the butterfly wings for blades.
That's awesome. She nods with respect, and then she has kind of a salute, and she gets up and leaves. And you have, I believe, 70 gold pieces.
We'll have to divvy that out.
Yeah, and you could, you could buy stuff with that before you leave. Of note.
Oh yeah, we gotta grab some torches and rations.
I've got plenty of torches still, but I'll need a couple of rations, yeah.
Alright.
Let's see, 70 divided by 5. Okay. There we go. Yeah, let's go just buy our stuff and then get the heck out of here, I guess.
Very well. So you get all loaded back up on torches and rations. You can do that, and it'll be at the book price.
Okay.
And you can see from Thorold around the surrounding area, you have, at this point, the trail ends. And you see grasslands and rolling hills to the north. A forest far off in the distance, and miles upon miles away, the jagged peaks of the Moorfowl Mountains. And then, of course, you have the river here going to the west.
Well, Trevor, do you think we should follow the river or try and get into the mountains first?
You asked the wizard that, Trevor?
Or rather, Yuri.
Oh, Yuri. Yuri says, I think we should go directly into the mountains to the north across the hills.
Then that is what we will do. Oh, but first
Right
we gotta
after
go
we-
get our armor.
yep. Right after we get our material from the bushes, yes, and we rearm and outfit ourselves, and off we go.
So this takes some extra time. You go back to the bridge, get the stuff, and then you have to circumnavigate the town, the city, so that you're not caught by any patrols. So you do not make it very far today. You only make it 3 miles north. You make it away from the city is the important part. But you're near a city, so only 3 dice rolls. And we got a grassland. Knock off 2 rations call from the cut of the mead money?
Yeah,
Okay.
I gotta get some food.
Oh, sure. Alright. Well, I mean, let me look real quick and I can do. We'll do the math real quick. 70 divided by 5 is 14 gold each. So you have 14 gold. Okay. Actually, in fact, I'll write that down. This is. Since everyone's character is in play, I'll give them the benefits of the 4 XP and the luck token. Actually, let me make sure. I need to roll their d8s. 4 and 3. I got a lower roll. That kind of sucks. Come on.
Take your time. We got time.
4 and 3. Ooh. You receive priest ally in town. But they stay in town. But you have their help if you need it, if you need to return for some reason.
No complaints there.
And Trevor is barred from the Royal Lantern. For some... Oh, because perhaps he bled everywhere. Because he ruined the carpet.
And thus it was that Glamorsax was banned from all the taverns in the land.
Alright. So let's see, you make it this far, just outside of the town. If you're going to hunt and gather firewood, you can do that. Is that still the plan, Daniel?
Yes.
Very well. Who's hunting and who's gathering firewood?
I will gather firewood.
Alright, I'm going to write it down. If it's okay, I'd like to just keep it the same. So firewood.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
No, and I'll just write it down, and then...
I have a negative wisdom modifier, so I'm probably better off looking for firewood.
Raltnik, firewood, and then what about Riga?
Firewood.
Firewood, okay. So the rest of the group is hunting. I'm going to write that down. Alright, I didn't see the dice roll. 14, that passes.
Oh, yeah.
No, I got
14.
it. Alright, so everybody else... And I got a 18, so you also got food. You get food for a day. So you don't have to mark off food for today. You got your firewood, and as you make it outside of town, Jonah, roll a DC 9 wisdom check.
Alright, we need a 7. Alright, 18.
18. You see a strange thing as you're setting up your camp for the night. It's just a bizarre sight. Let's see here. You see something like spurting. It's a geyser. And you see at first what looks like maybe the ground itself like shifting and moving with this geyser, and you realize it's some big hulking figure leaning over the geyser, and it's putting this stuff in its mouth, the mud in its mouth. It's probably 4 times the size of a man.
How far away is it from us?
That's a great question. It is... see, I should have rolled that. Let me do it. It is like double near, so probably... Let me actually put it on here. Within walking distance.
Boy. That does not look like a good time.
I does not.
And we've already set up our campfire, is that true?
No, you're in the process of setting it up. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay.
Holy moly. I say we take a log each with fire and run in different directions so it has to pick.
It doesn't seem to care about you right now. It's ignoring you.
Oh, okay.
In that case, we'll see if it continues ignoring us. We'll not attack it right away, but we'll just keep our eye open in case it decides to wander over.
Or if we want to mosey off too, we could do that.
Precisely.
While it's still not totally dark, we can try and just get away from it a couple 100 yards. Set up camp a little bit further away.
If you want to sleep further into the next day to gain the benefits of a rest, also, I don't know if anybody requires rest. I think everybody's got their hit points and spells, right?
That's true. Yeah, since we
So you-
slept in town.
Right. Okay, so you can forgo your rest. You still have to mark off food. The food you got, though. You got the food you hunted. You can forgo rest and leave far distance. So you'll stay in the same hex, but you won't depart the hex, but you'll go, like, all right, let's get over here.
Far away from this guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good. Let's do that. Yeah.
You do that, and it works.
Bye-bye, weird mud man.
And let's see. Otherwise, the sun rises the next day without a problem. Yeah. Where do you go from here?
We will continue north.
All right. At this point, you are leaving the road. And so, let me just change this. Oop, nope. There we go. All right. Roll a DC 12 intelligence check. See if you can find your way without getting too far off track. If you can reckon directly to the north.
And that's with a -1, so that's 14.
Oh, no. Oh, wait. No, that's good. Excellent. Yeah, you're able to maintain your track and course and travel. If you stop, as you usually do, to get firewood and to hunt, you'll make it just into the foothills of the Moorfowl Mountains.
Yeah, let's reserve our torches.
You see the mist curling off of the mountains, and Yuri looks up into them. He points off to the west, and he says, "We'll have to search and find its lair. The dragon will be no easy thing to sneak an egg from. I need the ichor, the yolk from its egg."
So, well, this heavy armor is not going to help at all, so I'll probably have to take that off pretty soon.
Perhaps
our
it would be
strategy,
best
however?
if we could try to find it first and scout it, and then cache again to sneak in, try to obtain the egg.
Aye.
And that's as far as you get.
We'll also have to travel under Shadow of the Night, so that if the dragon's flying about because it noticed that something is wrong, it'll be harder for it to spot us.
Oh no.
In fact, I need to take a look real quick and see what kind of things it can do. Ooh, okay. Okay. I hope you guys.
That's a
don't
good
get-
sign.
All right. If anybody is okay, yeah. So roll for your firewood check. So we've established we're gonna do that every time. I'll do the hunting checks. All right, you got firewood, and you also got food. You get food for 3 days, fresh food that you don't have to
Nice.
mark off. So it's currently the 17th of Zwiftmont. And let's see if anything happens in the night. You're now far enough away that it's becoming more dangerous. My sanctuary. Daniel, roll a DC 9 wisdom check.
All right. 15.
15. You hear like a weird moaning, growling, bovine type sound, and the ground shaking as you guys are setting up camp, and trees are being tossed, and you see at far distance off down to the south, you see that there are 5 people riding on an elephant on a Hoda. Is that how you pronounce it? Hoda? One of
Can you
those like
describe the
it's like Lord of the Rings. Those like fortresses on
an
top
elephant.
on top of an elephant.
Oh.
They have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the things that they ride on. Hoda. And it's the Hell's Wolves, and this is how they ride into adventure. And they're approaching you.
They're not kidding when they're rich. Oh, travelers! Angelina, good to see you again.
Oh, the elephant stops, and Angelina peers down. She's like, "Oh, Routnick, good to see you again. Should we
Looks
make
like we
camp
ended up
tonight
the same-
together?"
Please. Looks like we ended up at the same place.
Indeed, we'll be taking the trail to the west tomorrow, but there's no sense in us not keeping watch together this evening. And they climb down, and they tie the elephant up. They just loosely tie like a rope around its leg, and it just like docilely hangs out. They give it a crap load of food that they just happen to carry inside of the Hoda. And they have delicious food from the marketplace. So you also don't have to mark off one of your 3 days of food, because they freely offer you fine food and drink and exotic teas and all sorts of delicious meats cooked in spices. They set up a fancy camp. And that's that encounter. Finally, I got a note, y'all have had horrible luck, because actually a lot of the encounters are not actually bad, but all of yours have been bad, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We've noticed, don't worry.
Yeah, I've noticed too, yeah. Well, anyways, the sun rises the next day, and your watches are shorter. At this, is there anything that you tell them or talk to them about, as you prepare to break camp in the morning, and you have delicious food in the morning? Big ostrich eggs cooked in a delicious breakfast. It's the best food you've had in a long time.
Thank you. This has been a wonderful evening and morning. Although speaking of ostrich eggs, spellcaster, what be your name?
Oh, the spellcaster's name. Okay. 14. So his name would be... the name is Trogan.
Trugan.
Dwarf.
Thank you, Raltnik, myself. I must ask, have you any experience or knowledge on plundering a dragon egg?
Oh, let's see. He might. He does. Yes, I have heard about this. I've even heard legends that there is one dragon here in these lands. Centuries ago. Now, Riga, out of character, Riga, you of course know this. This is the very thing that changed your life. You were a proud dwarf warrior 500 years ago, and then seemingly cursed by something to have an unnatural life in those caves, eating grubs and things. But it was, you observed this entire valley and every one of these trees and cities laid to ash 500 years ago by this giant red dragon. Anyways, Trogan, he goes, I've heard of a great and powerful dragon that makes its lair in these very mountains somewhere. In fact, I've heard that it guards the way into lands further to the north. But those are just stories. But if you were to face a dragon, I could tell you I've read about them. There is no
Well-
equal to them. It is said that they can incinerate their foes at will. As so long as they live, and so long as they can see, they can gout flame from their mouths and burn castle walls. And that is not even including how they can fly and rend their foes apart. Why do you ask?
Well, my comrades and I seek a dragon's egg, and
Ah,
we were curious if you might have any hints on how to spirit one away and get
Yes.
out unscathed.
well, I think it's a fool's errand, and it's delightful. I hope that we can talk again, and you can tell me if you're alive, of course. No offense. How it goes, I would love to know.
None taken, T-Man.
And I'll hardly put my hand on his shoulder.
I hope that we can survive so that we may join you Hellwolves on some expedition down the road.
I have heard that they are immune to fire, of note. I think that if they have eggs, they will guard it closely to their treasure hoard. There'll probably be traps there. And, it may be best to be undetected, but if you fail, it would be best to try to capture its attention long enough for everyone else to get away. Barring that, you can only hope to flee.
Right. That does at least give me an idea.
Best of luck, Ratnik. And then they get up on their elephant and they charge off to the west along the trail. Oh, why is it not working? There we go. Alright, where do you all go from here?
I'd say we keep heading on the trail and find that dragon's nest.
Yeah.
You enter the Moorfowl Mountains. And your speed is reduced to half. You can now only travel, let's see, 12, 6. You can only travel 4 miles a day if you're trying to gather firewood and food. And for firewood, you'll do it at disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
It is cold here. You start to search the mountains. You've never been this way before, so you can also make another intelligence check.
11.
An 11. Oh no. You want to use? Oh, and I should note you can't use that for this. But you can use your one luck token. But also because of the good food, Riga, you get a luck token. Yeah.
Get more than one at a time.
No, you can only hold one luck token at a time. You find that it's troublesome to try to penetrate these mountains, and you keep trying to find a way up, but it seems impassable the way you're going. You find yourself off course, but it is clear to you that you're off course. And at one point, you even kind of get back into the gentle slopes that have snow on them. And Yuri announces to the group, he says, "We're going the wrong way. We must travel west along the foothills until we can find a pass. I saw the dragon fly to the northwest, not this way." And, let's see here. Whoops. Yeah, probably that's how dangerous it is. Otherwise, the passes without any other danger, so that's good. Snow. There we go. Get some snow going. All right. And if you're doing your firewood checks, you can do that now. You would do it at disadvantage.
Okay.
You do get food for the day. You get 2 more days of food, so you have a total of 5 days of fresh food. You're down to 4 of those. I see that you got a 15, so that passes. So you do find firewood as well. And the night comes. Freezing cold night. And let's see. It is interrupted. This will be Daniel and Taryn. Daniel, make a DC 15 wisdom check to see if you notice something.
Barely don't. 14.
Oh no. All of a sudden, something shakes loose in the mountains. Everybody can make a dexterity check. See if they can save against this. DC 12.
Ooh.
Well, I'm not gonna be making that.
Looks like everybody passed.
All
Except
except
for-
for me. Wait,
All right.
2 of us failed.
Well, the others all failed. You all take 3 points of damage, and an avalanche comes loose, and it covers some of you. Scree and rocks smash into others, causing 3 points of damage, and it puts out your fireplace entirely. 3 points. You'll also have to make a check to see if you can. Okay, so the others are not able to get their hit points back that night. You'll need to make a DC 12 con check to see if you can still rest after that. And you'll have to use 3 torches if you want to try to get those hit points back. If you don't have to. But you'll be freezing in the snow.
Ooh.
Which you
I
can
mean,
do.
3 hit points? What do you guys think? Is that worth it?
Is it worth 3 torches for Routnik? And
Well,
I'll even.
he does have plate mail. He is a frontline fighter. He's close to level 4, so I would say, begrudgingly, yes, you should burn 3 torches, and I can give you my torches as thanks.
Well, before you do that, why don't you go ahead and roll your con check, and I'll give you that. So we'll see if it's even of benefit, or if you're just so cold and frozen and beaten up that won't matter.
I've got a negative con mod.
Okay.
Alright, let's see the damage here.
Won't matter, so you don't need to burn your torches. Oh wait, that was Jonah. Sorry, no, never mind.
Yeah, that was for me. Tanner, do you want to roll that?
Nice.
17,
Okay.
so he made it.
All right, so you use your torches, 3 torches, and you get the fireplace going again. Everybody huddles around the fire in the mountains, and you get your hit points back. Now, anyways, no one else is missing hit points except Trevor and Taryn currently. And the sun rises the next day, and you want to go west, right?
Right.
All right. You can only make it 4 miles. You have been this way before, so you don't have to remake this check again. You don't encounter anything, and now you come into the mountains, into various bowls and deep ravines, and here Yuri stares out into the ravines, holding his staff, holding his cloak around him in the wind, and he looks back to you all and he says, "Here somewhere, this is where its lair is. Somewhere among these mountains we must find the hole into the earth if I'm to get my magic."
It will be done.
If you want to do that, you'll have to search this hex, and it will be 1 check, and but you won't be able to do it today, but it'll take all day the next day. But for now, you can roll to try to find firewood if you want.
Yes.
I think we should.
Let's do that.
You do
With
find
disadvantage
food.
again?
Yeah, and in fact, yeah, with this advantage, you have so much food. Would you like them to help you instead?
Yeah, that'd be
Okay,
good.
they'll do that instead. They fail. Did anybody get above
Oh, there we go.
a 15? Nice.
I got a 16.
All right, you got firewood for the night. You're down to 3 days of fresh food. It is the 18th of Swiftmont, I think. Missed it. All right, and night comes again. Let's see how that goes. Something does happen. As you're trying to find a place to bring your your firewood, does anybody have 3 slots of inventory open?
I do.
Okay, you can carry this firewood as you stumble upon a group of people in a camp that they've already made. There are 7 people here with weapons. They look up at you at their camp and they say, "Oh, hello, traveler. You too are traveling the mountains. We know why you're
I-
here.
Well,
Please join us."
Well, thank you very much. We would love to share your campfire.
He has a wild look in his eyes. They're all human men. He says, "I know why you could be coming this way. There's only one reason.
and that is?
You have heard of what Bloodfire offers as well. You go to join Bloodfire's army."
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head.
Of course. Who could not want to join Mighty Bloodfire?
Obviously,
He
the only reason.
Exactly. He will change things in this place. These lands will change. They will answer for their crimes. I have lost almost my entire family, my friend.
Terrible, terrible.
What is terrible is what Bloodfire will do to the Baroness and her ilk. And I cannot wait.
Here, here.
Hear, hear! Yeah, they all cheer, and they've got dried meats and things that they're enjoying around the campfire as well, soaking it in alcohol, try to loosen it up, eat, and to drink, and you spend the night with chaos cultists.
Oh boy.
Okay, morbid question, guys. Do we slit these guys' throats in their sleep?
Oh.
Because they're not going to be doing anything good. And
How many of them were there?
7 of them, yeah.
7. Okay.
You could travel with them. They're going in the same direction we are.
They are
That's
actually going. So you're searching this area presumably for a dragon's lair. They're going directly north into the valley of the palace.
They're going to the palace.
Yes.
Oh.
In that case, what I recommend is we'll get our dragon egg, and we'll get his powers back, and then we'll follow along with them, and hitch a ride to the palace.
Well, they're going to be
Sounds good
gone
to me.
because tomorrow they're going to the valley
Oh,
to
right.
the north, and you all are looking for the dragon's lair. Presumably, you don't have to. By the way, you don't have to do
Fellas.
it.
Gentlemen.
In fact,
follow
I want to frame this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Tanner, but I do want to frame this choice for you very clearly. You're going to face a dragon in the hopes of getting a cleric that could cast Cure Light Wounds. That's essentially the...
Oh yeah, that's not
That's a
being
good
called
way
into
to put
question
it.
here. I'm just ready to get to that palace, and I don't want to miss
So
another.
you don't have to. I just want to make sure that's clear.
We
We
want.
should slit. We
That
should
should
slit
be
the
fair.
cleric's throat and go with the. Yes.
Now, well, I was gonna ask one of the chaos cultists because Roltnik's got this rather deliciously awful idea. Is
Fellows, how do you know that you're personally equipped to serve the Blood Flame?
They look at each other, alarmed. What do you mean?
I mean, he requires only the strongest, bravest, most courageous warriors of the occult to serve his grand cause. This we all know, of course.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Well, my friends and I, fellow devotees to all that is chaotic, might have a way that you may prove your mettle to him and to yourselves.
They see you're wearing armor and stuff, and they look at each other and they're like, whoa. Well, what do you have in mind?
We are currently looking for a very special regiment to increase the occult powers of our good friend over here. And I'll motion to the cleric who we want to restore Cure Light Wounds to.
Yuri nods.
He seeks the egg of a lone dragon who lives upon the snowy mountain.
One of them, like a real skinny ectomorph kind of dude, he's like, a dragon! We would all perish! And then the other one,
Not,
like,
not
silence him.
necessarily. With skill, intelligence, and carefulness, we might be able to fetch the contents of the egg and depart unnoticed, or possibly even escape with our lives.
Routnick.
And after all, it would be something that would deeply please our glorious leader.
Yeah, that's great. Make a charisma check with advantage.
With pleasure. I'm going to be spending the luck token.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I know.
You can, yeah. Nice. All right, you got
20.
it that time. Yeah. All right. The leader of the group is like, no, listen. He's right. If we show up now, then Bloodfire will force some other means of showing our worth, and you know it. And it will be that only one of us survives. But if we can do this, demonstrate our power and bring a gift offering to our Lord, perhaps it will be worth it. Better to expend our lives now than in that way when we arrive at the palace. And some of them nod. Some of them are really nervous looking. And then he looks at you and he says, let's see, 7. My name is Vig. And you have what blades we have. And they're just simple people. They have spears and short swords and daggers and cudgels.
Okay,
Wonderful.
All right, let's see. Sun rises the next day. Now you have 7 more people to help you search as well. How do you divide? Do you do like... So think about like this way, right? You'll get more chances to search if you divide up, but the more you divide up, the more those divided groups will face potential random encounters by themselves
Sure. Okay.
in the mountains. And yeah,
Okay. So there are 6 of us and 7 of them. All right.
you could do 2 groups,
Maybe just
So,
or you
yeah.
could do 1
that's kind of
group,
what I was thinking.
or 3, or whatever you want to do.
What were you saying, Tanner?
I was just gonna think, yeah, 2, 3, maybe 4 groups if we need to. We'll search up and down. We'll find that nest, and we'll figure out how to get our hands on that yoke.
What do you think? 3 groups then?
3 groups.
2
All right.
groups. Okay. So
do that.
that's what?
That's an odd number, but
2 of them, you know,
Okay.
and then with each of you, and then plus 1. Okay, so, all right, here we go. Each group, so each player in this case, can make a DC 15 Wisdom check to try to find the lair.
okay. Oh,
Nice.
there we go.
Guys, go ahead. You may find the same. You might be able to save some time now. Okay, so Riga, you'll have to link back up and report your findings. I need what you find is some smoke and flame and fire and ember that comes from a cave nearby. If anything could be the entrance to a dragon's lair, it would probably be that.
Who is the quietest of us so far?
And you all get back together, but it's Daniel and his group that finds this.
In that case, we'll send the sneakiest guy of ours to quietly step forward and see what is smoking so much.
Probably, is it Trevor? Actually, let me see if Trevor has any spells for that. It's probably one of you all. Actually, Trevor's pretty good. He's got a dex of +1. Who else?
Better
Who
than
else
me.
we got? Taryn has a dex of +0, and Routnick has a dex of -2. Yeah, it's Trevor. Everybody looks at Trevor, and he's like, "What? Why's everybody looking at me? What?"
That's because you're going to very quietly step forward, and you're going to quietly step back and quietly tell us what there is to see, and so we can plan on how to get what we need.
Right. Well, you sees, I don't really like the ideas of getting eaten by a dragon. What about those lads we picked up? What if we maybe sent a couple of them in? No? And because they look at him, and they look at him as well, and he's like, right. Okay.
Well, each of you are soft of foot.
I see. And they look at Trevor too. It's definitely Trevor, and he's like, so let me get this straight. So you want me to sneak my way into a giant dragon's lair full of fire and magma, get close to its most prized possessions, and see what's going on?
We just want you to sneak there and tell us if the thing is awake, what it looks like, where it is, and where the eggs are, and then we will plan how to fetch what we need to.
Right.
Can you do that for us?
Sounds not great, but I see that I'm going to starve to death in these mountains if you don't help me, so I'm going to have to go ahead and go into a dragon's lair. And Trevor's shivering, and probably from both the cold and from terror, and he's going to see if he can sneak in and beat the dragon at its wisdom.
Again, all he needs to do is poke his head in and see if it's awake or not.
He pokes his head in, and he says, "There's a dragon. It's asleep on a gigantic pile of treasure, and it has eggs in its claw."
In that case, pluck the smallest egg and quietly step back.
So,
well, as long as you don't whimper, you'll be fine.
Let me see if I got this straight. So you wants me to go back into the dragon's lair second time, and now you want me to get an egg from its hand.
If you need to roll luck, roll luck.
So,
and Rolnick will just point to the general direction of the dragon.
If I do this...
I'm sorry, you're too good at doing his accent.
Yeah, for real.
You'll be giving me a double share of treasure, I assume. Right?
Sure. And remember, and I'll motion to our 7 new recruits, it's for the Fireblood.
Right. He's gonna come in again, and he's gotta, not wake up the dragon. A nat 20.
Oh, wow.
He comes out with an egg, and he says, "We should leave.
Yeah,
Yes,
let's
We should
hightail
leave.
it.
We should go." And
All right, in that case, we'll quietly tuck away the egg into one of our satchels, and we're gonna very quickly and very quietly get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
all right, now in order
Wait,
to
I'll,
do
I'll
that,
actually let I'll let the 7 quietly lead us to the way off the mountain, so we can start heading towards the palace at long last.
in order to do this, you must pass a con check, DC 12 con check, or else you will not make it past the entrance to this place, and you have to hope that you can hide, because you spent all day searching the hex. So, and I'll just have you 3 do it. DC 12 con.
Okay.
Nat 20. 4. 12. Do you have a luck token? Or somebody could give them a luck token to...
I'll give you mine.
Thank you.
This will allow you to travel a whole hex. If you do it. Nat 20. Nice.
Much better.
Okay, yeah, you're able to travel a whole hex. So that is... Now, if you use torches in your food, but keeping in mind you only have the torches you have, you can go 6 miles. If you have to stop and look for firewood at disadvantage, you can go 4 miles.
We have that extra firewood because we found them guys.
That's
Right.
true as well. Yeah, you could use that tonight. So you can go 6 miles. Incredibly, something happens. You descend down into a valley. A valley, Riga, that you have not seen in 500 years. And, let's see. Well, we don't really need that one. Maybe something like this. You see parapets cast against jagged, icy mountains far in the distance beyond it. Completely sunken off on either side, no terrain that would support it, as if the ground fell in all around it. Sheer, icy cliffs, except for a single bridge going to a single gate with a single portcullis. And above it, strange, shimmering, bright colors.
What does our cleric have to do with this egg?
So this takes into the night because you've traveled. In the night, he takes the egg, he conducts a ritual, holds it up, and I don't know, except that he has it. So he's going to gather it into vials and bottles and containers, and in the 2 moons of Mastara, he waits for an answer, alone in the snows. Comes back eventually with the first smile that you've seen on Yuri's face in a long time, and he says, "Companions, I can heal you now. Lord's favor is upon us."
Thank goodness,
Huzzah.
old friend. And now, with your powers restored and the palace finally within sight, it is my quiet recommendation that the second that we go to rest tonight, that there will only be 6 of us in the morning.
I agree.
Okay.
Ice these guys.
So, what did you say your recommendation was? It was really low.
Well, in character, it was to make sure there's only 6 of us instead of 13 when we wake up in the morning. But what I mean is, when the cultists go to sleep, we'll all just kill them.
Well, if we use your con, if we go into the palace of the Silver Princess and grab some treasure for Lord Bloodfire, these guys will be
use
even
them
more
as-
in favor.
Yeah. And then, when they're weak and can't fight any longer,
Yeah.
we'll reenact a module I'm not going to spoil the name of.
Okay.
But you guys probably know which one I'm talking about.
We'll just fall upon them in a kill crazy rampage.
Yeah! Once they're weak and battered and all that stuff.
Sounds good to me.
So
We're
you're trying.
still gonna have to talk them into it, probably.
Yeah, you're gonna hope to persuade them to enter the palace and still prove themselves.
Or no, if we get things, then maybe Lord Bloodfire will put us higher in his ranks.
Okay, tough sell, right? Because they just risked their lives marching with you all to the foot of a dragon's lair, which worked out well for them.
They did prove themselves, though. Here's how I'm gonna sell it. Here's the plan. I'm gonna convince them if they want to serve Lord Bloodfire in the palace and assist us in raiding the place. And if they agree, then great. We'll have 7 meat shields, which we'll put in front and let slowly die. And once the last few are weak and all that stuff, we'll just kill them and take their stuff. Or if they say no, we will say that is fair. You've proven yourself. The Dark Lord will see favor upon you, and we'll all go to bed. And but what they don't know is that we won't actually be going to bed. Our weapons will be under our blankets, and once they've fallen asleep, we'll fall upon them and slit their throats.
All right, couple of things then. So now you're still on your side of the valley. You have the mountains just behind you. You've got this valley in front of you, and you can see the keep off in the distance. Okay, it's dark, and let's start with your charisma bonuses +2, right?
That's correct.
They look at you and they say, "Oh no, friend. I think it's best we stay together."
Then we descend upon the palace.
Very well. So, night comes.
I am honored to have ye.
Night comes, and it is dark. And you use your firewood. You're actually probably nowhere near that bridge. You're way over here.
Okay. Now it's a funny visual.
Okie dokie. So, all right. What do? You're going to try to wake everyone up quietly in the second watch of the night and slit their throats?
Well, did they just agree to help us raid the palace?
They said that they're going to stay with you when they enter. They expect, to be clear, that they don't think of this as Dungeons and Dragons. They think that they're going to enter triumphantly into Bloodfire's keep, and that he's going to greet them, and that they're going to have to try to plead their worth using the dragon egg contents that they have.
In that case, I'm completely lost. That is the palace, yes?
It seems like it. They think it might be, and then Riga, yeah, you know that it is.
Okay. And they will be entering assuming that their Dark Master is there, yes?
Yes.
And we don't know if he's there or not, so I'd say...
I almost think we kill him.
I'm thinking that too, but
that.
one of us can, scout into the night with, a torch and see if there's other people there.
That is still miles away, and you've actually traveled
Okay.
into a second hex into the night. So you would...
Look,
not
if you
be
guys
able
think we
to-
should just kill them in the second watch, we will. I just think it'd be darkly amusing and much more useful to keep them alive as unwilling foot soldiers, and then once the last 2 or 3 are weak, we just finish the job.
Yeah.
I understand
also
I'm playing
just-
with fire.
Yeah, it's 7 more problems if
Alright, in that
Bloodfire
case,
is camped outside of the.
yeah, you guys have
Oh.
convinced me. Second watch, we'll just end them.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, if that's the case,
Yeah.
then you'll need to try to wake everyone up, try to get the weapons out, and quietly slit their throats, which I will say can happen on a DC 12 Dex check, and all 3 must make it.
Well, wait a sec. Wouldn't we just be quietly agreeing with planning this away from the other 7 and just putting the weapons underneath their blankets?
Yeah, you still got to get up and slit everybody's throat and kill 7
Oh,
people.
I see, so they don't notice.
There's 5
Alright.
of them.
Sure.
Everyone ready with your dice?
Yeah.
Okay. Here goes everything.
Nice. And are there any luck tokens
no.
left?
Nope, we're ending with a brawl.
All right. Well, who was
Do we
it
get
that got
3
the
of them?
16? You're right. Yeah. Whoever got the 16, you killed one of them.
All right.
And the rest... Whoa, no, that's not... Let's see if we can work this out before the session comes to a close here. Maybe. It's pretty fast combat. Okay.
We shall end the session at the gates.
Roll for initiative.
Aye.
7.
5.
6. All right, so you guys at least go first. 19. 17. All right, so yeah, the first person is Daniel. Daniel, what do you do?
All right. I'm gonna go up to the next guy here. Give him a stab through the chest.
All right.
+3.
You hit
14.
him. That hits.
Very nice. +1 is 7 damage.
Describe how you kill him.
Just after I kill his buddy in his sleep, I yank my spear out, and then as he's getting up, I rush over to him and poke him right down through the throat.
All right, yeah, you do that. Let's see, the next person is Terran. Terran is going to run forward and attack the next one with his greatsword. And Nat 20. Nat 20 does 15 damage, and he just lobs his head off and keeps running into the next one. Let's see. Routnick.
All right. If he's going there, I will go here, and I'll take a swing at this one first. +4. That's it.
16 hits.
And real quick, a bastard sword held two-handed is a D8 +1, or is it a D10 +1? I think it's a
D10.
D8. Okay.
I think.
Joke's on you. We were in service of chaos law the entire time. 3 damage.
Okay. This one's weak. You slay him as well. Let's see. The next one is Riga.
Yeah. I lob him horizontally at the waist, so his upper torso just falls down.
Yep. That also hits for 2 damage. Now that's not enough to kill this guy. Alright, let's see. And Trevor is going to cast Magic Missile. And he does it. And I think it does D4 damage. Or I think... Maybe it's 2D4. I think maybe it's 2 bolts or 2D4.
Here's what I'm thinking now. I think that you should not be alive for the next few moments.
Yuri is, he's gonna run forward and just strike with his weapon. And it misses. And then, let's see, they have a chance to attack, but they are terrified, and they are still people. And, but they pass, and he's like, "This will surely show Bloodfire if we are worthy or not." And he,
To the death, lads!
Yeah.
he, Nat 20, 4 damage against Yuri. Let's see.
That's some kind of
4.
karma.
And I don't know what he's got. I'm just going to put like 9 right now. And let's see. And this one's going to attack Routnick. For 15? 16.
Misses.
Nice. Okay. Misses. And that brings us to Terran. Terran is going to run to the next one. Chop with his greatsword. 16. 2 damage.
The enthused accordion swung his sword robustly in the humid air currents.
And Routnick, you're up.
Alright. You stop being a person when chaos entered the equation.
Oh gosh. That
20.
hits. Describe your kill. There's no mathematical way you can't kill him now.
I uppercut with the bastard sword two-handed, and all 4 of his limbs are flying as his 2 separate halves are flying off in 2 different directions.
Alright, that happens. This one's going to make another wisdom check. Because that's really horrifying. He fails, he drops to his knees and smells like urine in the snow. Please, please, I give up. Please don't kill me.
We all just pal-mal into him.
You do?
Unless you guys want to question
Yeah,
him.
what do you guys want to... Yeah, what do you think? Free torchbearer of questionable loyalty or kill him?
Oh. Ooh.
Free torture.
Questionable loyalty.
What do you think, Heretic?
I think it's not worth it.
All right. There's 2 votes. You chop him in twain, and you end them. I'm gonna see if they have any treasure on them. They do. They do. They have treasure. Let me see what your treasure is. There's a 50% chance that overland encounters have treasure. They are a level 1 encounter, though. So they do a D100 on that table. Let's see what you get. 52. You find, nothing of great worth, but you do obtain a mithril locket with a painting of a halfling. It seems that one of them was into short women.
I don't blame them.
20 gold pieces worth. It's a lot, actually, in this game. 20 gold pieces is probably...
We could fucking carouse with that.
Let me see if you level up real quick from that. I'm just curious.
I do think if it's
Level advancement.
if it's no demand or insult, I do think when we reach the gates of the palace, we should get a little XP and maybe inspiration. If only because we have hiked for a month and a half.
Your reward is your life.
That is fair.
20
That
gold
is
pieces,
fair.
value level 1. Per treasure find. Bag of gold. So this is a... For average... Or... Each group should gain about 10 gold pieces times their average party level and value. Okay, right. And then, with it being this much, it is a 1 XP. You get 1 XP from it. I'll note that right here. Okay, so you got 4 XP. All right. Now, last
I leveled up.
Last thing. Oh, you did?
Yep, 30 out of 30, man.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Oh, excellent. Okay. All right. Before we go, and then we'll figure all that kind of stuff out. The day rises the next day on all these dead bodies, and you cross the ravine to the bridge. When you approach the bridge to the palace, shimmering lights still in the sky. Only one bridge. Everywhere else is just chasm, hundreds of feet across. It's as if the earth has given way. And one bridge going into one gate with one portcullis on one tower. But on the near side of the bridge are bodies everywhere. 24 of them. Human bodies. Dead in the snow.
Ooh.
Are they like the guys we killed last night?
Yes.
Oofta. Just rolling my HP, don't worry.
Are we near the bodies that we could examine them or not?
Yeah, you can examine the bodies.
Do they have that mark on them?
Yes.
Good.
And they're all definitely dead. Many of them fantastically so. Like gored,
Fantastically?
and torn apart, or, in 2 separate pieces, or multiple pieces, or sometimes only limbs sticking out of the snow.
Weapons or tooth claw?
So you look at some of the bodies. Looks like we lost Jonah. Looks like the internet. He's gone. So you... Oh,
There we go.
So you look at the bodies. Some of them look as if they were gouged open, torn. Some of them look ripped, some sliced. But what's really unusual is you find a body, mostly intact with a shocked look on its face, that looks as if something exploded out of it.
Oh no. Okay.
A chest burster.
And of note, all of them look different. Some of them look like they were exploded, sliced, torn, ripped, and something exploded from within them. Some of them it looks like it looks as if a butcher perfectly cleaved a slice of meat and their limb is perfectly missing, as if by a surgeon.
And all these people are wearing, are they any of them wearing
Rags.
symbols or
Yeah,
rags? Okay.
yeah, and they have the symbol of Bloodfire. These were all adherents.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, my internet was wigging out here for a
Sorry.
second.
Apart from that, you see a gate with a double portcullis and a door, a large double ornate door on the other side leading in to the palace of the Silver Princess, and that's where we'll end the adventure for the night.